Hi, beautiful, and welcome to the Beautiful Aesthetics Podcast. I'm your host, Stormie, laser professional, esthetician, and med spa owner here in Frisco, Texas, bringing you real talk on all things skincare, beauty, and everything in between. So let's get into it. All right, guys, I am super excited to have on my very first guest today, and that is the beautiful Solisa Phipps. Hi, Solisa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So Solisa has been in the industry for, forever. She's been in the industry for 23 years. So welcome and thank you for being my very first guest.
Thank you.
And
I didn't know I was your first guest.
You were my very first guest. And I do have, before we get into things, I do have a gift for you.
Aww.
So
I love
here's
presents.
this for you. You're so
Thank
welcome.
you. I appreciate it. Do you want me to open it?
Go ahead and
Wait,
open
for
it.
real? Okay.
Yeah. No one likes waiting to open gifts.
Aww. I'm official.
You are official. You're official part of the BA Club.
Okay, Pilates shirt.
There you go.
Yes.
So I need
my
to try
goodness.
Pilates because everyone
Thank
says it's such a great
you.
workout, but I'm not coordinated really.
So I don't do working out. I don't like the gym. I have high anxiety. I don't know how to use the machines, and I'm not going to remember anything that you tell me. But
Yeah.
I started doing Pilates and changed everything.
Awesome.
Literally changed everything.
I feel like everyone I know is doing Pilates, so that's probably something I should look into. All right, Solisa. So you, and I'm going to read my notes because you've got a lot going on for yourself. Solisa's been in the industry for over 23 years. Is that right?
It'll be 23 years in January.
That's amazing. So she's got experience in aesthetics, the beauty industry. She's a licensed esthetician, makeup and lash extension artist, professional laser technician, and an aesthetics instructor, which is really cool because I was too. So we do have that in common. And we'll talk about that.
We have so much in common.
We do. She has also worked in dermatology, plastic surgery, med spa management, and you've owned your own place before too, right?
I did.
And now what I love so much is she is focusing her talent and knowledge now on educating the next generation of us,
Gotta
the
pay it
laser
forward.
professionals.
Got to pay it forward.
Absolutely. So Lisa, I want to know, back 23 years ago, and I know you weren't living here. You were in Austin, right?
I was not in Austin.
You were not in Austin.
I was in a little tiny town called Abilene, Texas.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a tiny town. It is to me, but
Yeah, no, it's tiny.
Yeah.
I think it's tiny. It's growing.
people in Abilene, they think it's big.
It's
but-
growing, but it is definitely tiny. So I want you to tell us how your career in the aesthetic world came about. What got you into aesthetics?
Yeah, so I had always wanted to be in medical somehow. I have a special needs brother, and
Yes,
I
you
was
do.
8 when he was born, and he had a brain injury. And so there was not a lot of hospitals throughout the U.S. that could cater to the issues he was having. So we had to move to the area of the hospital that could take care of him. And we lived in Ronald McDonald houses.
Okay.
So going through that with him, I was like, I'm going to be a doctor, or I'm going to be something in the medical field. I mean, I grew up in hospitals with him.
Right.
So I knew somehow, some way I was going to be in some form of medical. I really just wanted to find a cure for him, honestly. And as I grew up, I realized, I don't think I want to be a doctor. It's a lot of school, and it's really not my thing, like school. In all honesty, in school, what I did best at was all the medical stuff, because I was in like a course that you would like do internships at the hospitals and stuff.
How old were you at that time?
This was in high school.
Okay.
So, and then also I was my brother's respite worker. So I got paid through high school to take care of my brother after school.
Oh, wow.
So I never did like after school activities. I was home after school to relieve my mother of, give her a little bit of a break. So I did that until I graduated high school. So I would have him and after school and then get him ready for bed. And then that was it. That was all of high school for me.
Gotcha.
So after kind of during high school, I had different jobs along with taking care of him. I had always loved doing makeup. Always. Do you remember those, like, it was like a larger Barbie head?
Yes,
and
I
it had
had
like
one.
a plastic thing.
Yes.
And it was supposed to be her dress with the shoulders, and you could put makeup like on the ruffles of her dress. So I would do facials on them. And so I would lay her head on the floor between my knees, and I would just pull all my mom's stuff out and use some soap and do a facial. How
love
I knew
that.
how to do it, I have no idea. So my mom always said, you're going to have to go into something related to that. So I always thought, oh, well, I'll probably just end up being a makeup artist then. On top of that, I was in the music business. I had been doing music since I was a child.
Okay, hold on, because this is new to me.
I
music
was
too?
wondering if you knew.
No.
So all through, I was a pageant girl. So I did pageants, and I always sang in pageants. And after high school, I did a talent show called Abilene Idol.
Okay.
And it was, you had to qualify for that to go to American Idol. And American Idol was only in their second season.
Okay.
So it was super new. In fact, we were like the first season that you could use your flip phones to vote.
Okay, you have so many fun facts about you that I did not know. Guys, I love this.
I've done a lot of stuff.
You have. I love
I'm
it.
like, try this, suck at this. Try this, suck at
What's
this.
the next
this
thing I
is
can
the
do?
thing that I'm actually kind of good at.
Yeah.
So I did that. And once I did that, I was like, oh, okay, so then I'm just going to be in the music business. Like, I'm not going to do makeup anymore. I'm not going to do medical. I'm just going to be a singer, because that seems easy. I'm actually really good at it. So I was runner-up Abilene Idol, and the winner and the runner-up were taken to Austin to do the auditions.
Hold on. What did you sing?
There's actually a lot of songs.
Oh, okay.
So they
So you
only
do-
show very small portions, but what they show on TV is like one audition and then one audition, and then you go on TV,
Okay.
right? Or like live. It was like 9 auditions.
Gotcha.
Like you just
Okay.
keep going, because at this time there was 4,000 of us.
Oh my gosh.
We were at the I forgot the name of it, like the DoubleTree Hotel or something like that in Austin, and it was 40 something degrees outside. I was in a tiny little 19 years old in this slinky little dress. I brought one of my guy friends with me. He was actually like my security guard when I was on tour previous to that, because I was on tour doing music. And so I just brought him with me. I was like, you can come stand with me in line, and that way I don't have to be by myself. And so I did, and I was like number like 3,000 something. And it was like, I forgot how many hours. I think we were in line for like 30 something hours.
Oh, wow.
It was so cold outside. All I had was a sleeping bag.
Oh my gosh. So you
And we
guys
would
were out there.
Yeah. And I had a little extended stay for the week. And my little Nokia flip phone. So I did that, and then I ended up getting through. So I was in the top 20 from Austin. They took us to Hollywood, and then it's like top 20 from each major city goes to Hollywood, and then you go in front of the judges. So I did that, and then I made it through. So I was in the whatever, they choose a couple from each city or whatever. Anyway, so I made it all the way through. I was in Hollywood for a couple of weeks. I think I turned 20 at that time as well.
That's so amazing. So that's new.
And
that's
that was
really
my
cool to know
very
about
first
you.
time on an airplane
Okay.
as not a baby. Because I think I was a baby when I was on an airplane with my mother. So that was my first time on an airplane, and there's no regular airport. Like, I don't know what you call it. Like there's only a private airport in Abilene. So they had when I say private jet, it's not like the private jet you think of, like fancy. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but there was 12 people on the airplane. It was small and a little rickety. And they took us to Hollywood in a storm from the private
What an
airport.
experience
It
for
was
your first time.
terrifying.
Yeah.
It was terrifying. Everybody on the flight knew that I was going for American Idol, so they were really, really sweet to me. And everybody was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Like, you're really pale right
Were
now."
they like, can we go ahead and get your autograph?
Some of them did. Some of them did. One of the ladies, I remember this because it's funny now looking back on it, but I had my cute little, like a little zip up denim outfit and my little boots, and my mom packed a Vogue magazine for me and some Twizzlers. So I'm just sitting there with my little stuff. They put me in the front so I could be behind the pilot. And the lady sitting next to me, she goes, "Oh my God, are you from Dallas?" And I was like, "You think I'm from Dallas?" And she was like, "Well, you look like a Dallas girl." And I go,
Dallas girl.
no, I'm from this little town, Abilene. And she was like, wow. She was like, Abilene girls are so pretty and talented. And you just really look like a Dallas girl. And I was just like, wow, she thinks I look like I'm from Dallas.
Great.
Now living here, I'm like, it's just funny to me that I was so excited about that. I was like, I can't believe it.
And now you truly are a Dallas girl.
Now I am. Yeah, officially.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I did that, and I obviously didn't, make it, but Clay Aiken and I tried out together. He was my partner there.
Okay.
Yeah. Frenchie Davis, she got famous for some other things, during American Idol, but she was my like kind of mentor there, sweetheart. So,
you're making me want to go like rewatch some of these older
there's
episodes
some
of
video
it.
of me on VHS, and I'm sure it's disintegrated at this point.
I might have to go to the Goodwill and find a VHS player.
I know. I'm like, I can't even see my stuff. There's some pictures and stuff, and there's pictures of it on my page. I post like every few years on our anniversary of being there and stuff. But
that's really cool.
yeah, so I did that, and I came home from that kind of with my tail between my legs. Like I thought I was about to be, in the music business, and I was going to buy my parents a house. And my mother told me before I left, she said, if this doesn't work out, you have to make sure you have a plan B, a plan C, plan D.
A fallback, yes.
And I said, at that time I was 19, I was like, I don't need another plan. Like, I got this. Like, this is going to be so easy. It is not easy. It was really hard. It was stressful being away from home, kind of being on my own.
Yeah, that's your first time away.
It was first time away, and it was a lot harder than I expected. So I came home and I said, now what do I do? And my mom goes, I told you you needed a plan B and a plan C. And she goes, why don't you just do makeup? Because you've been doing that. I had a couple jobs doing makeup. I was working for a photographer back home. And I was like, Mom, there's no like makeup degree. And she was like, well, why don't you just go to the cosmetology school in town? There was only one. And just look around, check it out. Maybe there's something there that you could do. So I went, not expecting anything. And I said, I'm a makeup artist. I've been doing it for years. I'd also been doing lashes. I thought I invented them. I'd been doing lashes at 16, 17.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was working for a photographer doing modeling portfolios. So I would do their makeup, cut up a whole bunch of lashes off of a strip and glue them on just for their photos. So I didn't even know. Like, I was like, oh, I'm so going to bank off of this. Little did I know Marilyn Monroe used to get lash extensions. So,
Yeah.
So somebody else stole my idea. It's
okay.
Before me.
It's okay. Funny thing about the makeup, that's what I thought I wanted to do too, is makeup. I'm like, oh, I'll go esthetician school just for the makeup side of it so I can say I'm a professional makeup artist.
And that seems like that was our options back then too.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know all the different pathways for aesthetics. I thought there was, I didn't even know dermatology, never even thought about plastic surgery. I just thought that like makeup is the industry. Yeah. I had no idea. But luckily, it just so happened that when I went to that school, the owners said, you seem like you're interested more in aesthetics. And I was like, aesthetics, yeah, like makeup. And they said, no, more like dermatology. And I go, dermatology? Like, isn't that like for a doctor? And they were like, yeah, but you can work for a dermatologist. Never thought about that. So a school had just opened next door that was kind of connected to theirs. Now they're all like that. They're cosmetology and then the aesthetic side.
Right, yeah.
They were kind of the first ones to do that there. And Faustino Lerma, Mr. Lerma, he was my first big mentor. Still talk to him to this day.
That's amazing. I'm sure he's very proud of you.
He is. He is. He just opened a school. He's from Dallas.
Okay.
And he opened this aesthetic school, and I was one of the first students there.
Wow.
Yep. And I used my pageant scholarships to pay for school and wrote him another $600 check. And that was it. I started January 3rd.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I loved it. Day one, I was like, this is it. I'm supposed to be here. I literally know everything he's saying right now. And in regular school, I was always lost.
Same.
Like,
I was too.
Copy. Where's the back of the book where the answers are? Because I have no idea what anybody's saying. This, I just...
You were in, you were zoned in.
I just knew, and I loved it. And when I graduated, there was actually 12 of us when I started, and they all dropped out. So I graduated by myself. Yeah.
By yourself?
Sang at my own graduation. I was valedictorian, just
Yes.
saying, even though I was the only one.
Anyways,
Anyways,
class of one.
anyways, so they actually put me with the cosmetology graduates because
you weren't by yourself.
So my graduation wasn't very long, but he asked me if I wanted to travel to Dallas. So I could watch and see what he does. And at that time, not only was he an instructor, but he was like a consultant. So he would go to med spas like I do now. He would go to med spas and help them figure out what they need, pricing, all the services, all the things. So I traveled with him and took a week in Dallas.
That's really amazing because you were able to get such an inside look at what most don't get to see that early on in their career.
He taught me a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have learned in any other aesthetic school. And full circle from that, when I started working for my first plastic surgeon and dermatologist in Austin, one of their first aestheticians and laser techs, Irma, if you're listening, Irma, I love you. Irma was my mentor. You would love her so much too. She was my mentor. And on day one, she introduced herself, made me feel warm and welcome. And she said, "Where did you go to aesthetic school?" And I said, "Oh, you probably haven't heard of it. It's in Abilene, Texas. And it was, kind of their first aesthetic school. It was called Texas School of Clinical Aesthetics." And she goes, "Faustino?" And I go,
Wait,
you know Mr. Lerma? And she goes, "He was my teacher too."
oh,
So she went the year
such a
before
small
me.
world.
She graduated with him the year before me in Dallas.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so she's the only other person I've ever met that went to school with him. And all the things that I knew, she knew that plus some. I was like, she's my girl.
Right. So that's amazing to have a mentor like that. So that was at the dermatologist office in Austin. And what's the name of that dermatologist office?
Westlake.
That's what I thought.
Westlake Dermatology and Plastic Surgery. They're huge now. When
That's
I
what I was
worked
about to say.
there's
They are
like 5.
really well-known
They've
practice.
expanded all over Texas. I think there's 16 locations, maybe 17, maybe more than that. So they're, I think, one of the 3 largest derm and plastics practices in the country.
Yeah, they're huge. So I met Solisa in, I think, 2017, maybe, at a dermatology office, McGinnis Dermatology.
Yep.
So you had
I
just
came
moved.
from Westlake.
You came from Westlake, right? Was it a big change coming from there to here to a different derm office?
I was very spoiled at Westlake.
Wait, so how long were you at Westlake?
I was there almost 7 years.
Okay, wow. You were there for a while.
Prior to that, I was at another med spa in Georgetown, Texas, and I had owned a med spa prior to that, and the one that I was working for had bought my med spa.
Okay,
so
let's back up for a minute. So you had your own med spa. Tell me about that.
When I came home from The Bachelor.
Okay. Okay.
So after American Idol, I got my aesthetics license. I moved to Austin.
Okay.
I was in Austin for 15 and a half years. And in my young 20s, I was at a baseball game. And I had been dating a baseball player. And then we were just friends after that. And I just happened to be in the crowd. And the cameraman put me on the Jumbotron. And I had a little tank top on that said "Love" in rhinestones across it. And after they saw me on the Jumbotron, I guess the show was holding auditions somewhere in the vicinity, and some of the people were there at the game.
Okay.
And so they saw me on the Jumbotron and came up to the stands to ask me if I wanted to do The Bachelor.
So that's how that came about. I was going to ask you about The Bachelor a little bit later, but wow.
Yeah. And I said no. I said, no.
She's
I'm not
pretty
doing
much
that.
famous, guys.
Small town.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, let me make sure I
Big
get your
fish,
autograph
little
before
town.
you leave here today.
Big fish, little town.
So they're like this beautiful girl. You're at a baseball game and you're on the Jumbotron and she's stunning. I mean, look at you. You're stunning.
Thank you.
So
Thank
you were how old at that time?
I was 25 when I was on the show. So this was probably like 24.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. And I was working at a med spa that a physician was owned, And then I started to manage it, and then he didn't want to do it anymore. It was a little bit harder than he expected. So
Always is.
he sold it to me. So I took the equipment and I took over the lease for the lasers and opened my own place.
Very impressive, Solisa, especially at that age.
25 is, that's just not the age to be doing all of that. It was probably, I was like way out of like anything I knew how to do, but I just was like, all right, well, let's do this.
Yeah, that's one of those things. What is it? The saying they have that you jump off the cliff without, you just build it on, you build a plane or something on the
just
way
dog
down.
paddle.
Yeah, yeah.
Just dog paddle. So I tried it. I did really well. Absolutely loved it, but it was a lot. Had some days where I would sleep on my spa table just because I was my receptionist and I was my maid and I was all the things.
You were wearing all the hats.
I did not like doing my own taxes.
Oh my gosh.
So that was probably the scariest part.
I feel you so much on that as a business owner now.
Yep. And honestly, what helped my business the most is Miss Allison Sperling with SkinCeuticals at the time. I was their last med spa that was not physician run that got to carry SkinCeuticals before they moved into physician only.
Okay. And SkinCeuticals, guys, is a huge skincare line that's been around for a long time.
They were the ones that kind of helped like get me going. Because at that time, everybody wanted SkinCeuticals. So she said, we stopped doing this, months ago, but I really, really believe in you and I really want you to do this. So I'm going to let you do a contract with us, but you have to buy, this amount of products. So we did, and I did really well with it. So SkinCeuticals is a special place in my heart because of her. So
yeah, and it's still a great line. They're still really big, and they are very, like, from what I've heard from other business owners, they're very particular with
their
like the accounts,
and their,
their formulations too, but who they let carry their products in the practices.
CE Ferulic.
I was just about to say, CE Ferulic. I'm sure everyone has heard of CE Ferulic.
Flortensia forever.
Yeah, for sure.
But so there was, apparently I was a competitor to another med spa in that town. And so I had a like grand opening after I'd already gotten started. I thought, okay, well, let's just do this, drive more patients. And so the owners of the competitor med spa and the only tanning salon in that town, they came to my party, my grand opening, to like figure out who this other med spa was
what's going on
into
here.
Their territory. And one of those owners, Justin, he is like a brother to me. We're very, very close all these years later. But I ended up combining my business with theirs. About a year later, gave them my clientele, we're my clientele still, but we combined businesses and I managed their med spa and tanning salon. And I had my med spa in the back of it, and they had somebody to do all the taxes, so I didn't have to worry about any of it. And that's exactly what I wanted, honestly. I was like, please don't make me do numbers anymore. I'm an esthetician. I don't do matheses.
Yeah. Give me faces, please.
Yes. So that was how I kind of moved into that. I did that for 5 years before I was referred to the Westlake Dermatology.
Gotcha.
So, and I was working both for, I did 2 years working both 7 days a week. So I would go from one, change my clothes, get into my scrubs, go to the other job, and just go back and forth 7 days a week.
Hustle.
So I was like, I'm in my 20s. Yeah. I have the energy. Why not? I'm not married. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have children. I have a dog. I can do this. So I did it until I could make the amount of money at the derm practice when I was making more than the two combined.
Together. Right.
Yes. I went to full time there, quit the other job, and it was the exact time that the law started to pass that you have to have a laser license.
Yes,
so it was
because it wasn't always that way.
Yeah, no.
It was, I think it still is kind of the wild, wild west out here.
It is, absolutely.
But even then, I mean, anyone could just do it. There was no formal training that was required anyways at that time.
Yeah, so it worked out perfectly. They didn't want to have to hire a medical director, and we didn't really know how to do the license thing. So when I got to Westlake, it kind of all fell into place. They were just now going into, okay, now we have to get all of our estheticians licensed. Everybody needs a ZP number. I got grandfathered in just like you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was there for almost 7 years. I absolutely loved it. And I got here because I started dating my now husband, who I went to high school with, which is still super weird for me to think about.
In Abilene? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Never dated in high school. I mean, we weren't even, I wouldn't even consider us friends in high school. We would just see each other, at school and stuff. And he was friends with my friends, but he was a jock. I would never date a jock in high school, but.
Okay. So before we get into a little bit more about your life here, I do want to back it up for a second. At the derm office there in Westlake, what triggered you to move here? Like, what was the move here?
So I started dating my now husband. We went to high school together in Abilene. And during Thanksgiving in 2016, we had both gone home to Abilene to see our family. And we just
hit it off.
We saw each other and went on a date on accident. And that was kind of it. So we just kind of did long distance. He was in Dallas. And he kind of went on a similar parallel route as me. He went to Hollywood as well after high school. He's a year younger than me. So he graduated the next year and then went to California. He did movies and modeling and all the things. And
both of you just have really cool lives.
I always brag on him. He hates it, but I always brag on him. He did the Gone video. He was like one of the hot guys in the Gone video.
Really?
Justin Timberlake. I forgot the boy group. Justin Timberlake's group. Whatever.
NSYNC.
Yes. Yeah. So he did that. That was like his big thing that he did. But he did some like C-list movies. You know, the scary movies with the hot guys in them.
That was him.
Yeah.
How cool! Wow.
So he kind of did the same, similar, and then came back home, and he ended up having a child at 21, and that kind of changed his trajectory. So he ended up in Dallas, single dad, and so
props to single dads.
I know. I never thought I would date a single dad, let alone marry a single dad. Not that I had anything against it, but I never really thought about it. And honestly, that was kind of like what made me want to marry him, is seeing his relationship with his child.
I love that you say that, because with my husband, he had 2 kids before I met him, and same thing. It's like you see them with their kids, and it's like this.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
it's
describe
precious.
it. Yeah,
it's precious.
It is. Yeah. Whole dad life.
So very quickly, we did the long distance thing, and then he finally was like, "I need you here with Abby and I. I need you to be here. Like, she loves you, and you're great for her." And
how old was she at the time?
She was 12 and a half.
12, okay.
And that's a rough age.
It is.
Junior high, or what they call middle school.
Yeah.
She was in middle school, and she was on the struggle bus, and he was on the struggle bus trying to figure out how to, help a 12-and-a-half-year-old with all of the yes. And he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he did great, though. He's a great girl dad. He's a dance dad too. So
I love dance.
He can
dads.
do a braid like nobody's business. But I moved here, and I didn't necessarily want to live in Dallas, but it's like, do I keep my dream job over here, or do I have my dream family over there? So that was so much more worth it to me. So I did that, and it's funny. I always tell people, I always prayed, when I decided I did want to kind of settle down and get married, because it was a long time before I wanted to do that. And I always wondered if I would have kids, but if I did, I wanted a little girl that wore tutus and was going to love makeup. And then I started dating him, and she was is a dancer.
I was saying, from what I've seen of pictures,
and
that
she
is
loves
her.
makeup. Yes, I literally got everything I prayed for.
Yeah,
so,
and I'm sure she loves you so much.
That's my girl.
Such a
my
good
girl.
bonus, Mom.
That's my girl, and she's about to graduate. We literally just talked to her today. She graduates in December early from Auburn University.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. She's
wild
living her
to
best
think.
life. She's amazing. She's independent, and she's got a good head on her shoulders, and
well, congratulations, Abby. That's really exciting. Yeah,
she's a phenomenal girl.
Was it hard? I know this is outside of skincare, but as a bonus mom as well, was it hard for you to navigate when you first kind of got in and
Absolutely.
you're like, I don't want to step on toes. I don't know what to do. You know what? I don't.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah.
Even with her being 21 now, it still is a huge struggle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've all worked really, really hard on like the communication and
Communication's key.
and when it doesn't come from both sides, it makes it even harder. But her and I have our own relationship, and even she says, she's like, you're not my, I don't feel like you're my stepmom. You're just like one of my besties.
I love
So
that.
yeah, and I think that's how it's supposed to be. I'm not
agree.
her mother. She has
Yeah.
her own mother.
Right.
She has her dad. I'm just like when she needs somebody to talk to that's not them.
Yes, that's what I always say. Just someone else in their corner to love and support and be there. Yeah. Yay.
I love her.
love that.
Love her.
I love seeing pictures of you guys together too.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
awesome.
Yeah, she's a cool kid.
So she's about to graduate college, and you guys have, I love animals, especially dogs. I have 3 of my own, and one of them a rescue as well. And
Your doggies are so cute too.
Thank you. So are yours. So you're animal lover too. You have 2?
Honestly, I would have baby animal everything.
Same.
My husband won't let me have a giraffe or an elephant. I'm always trying to get animals. I'm like, this elephant's super cute. Do you think we could have it? And he's like, where? I'm like, well, it's a baby. He's like, it has to grow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want it. I just want all of them.
I'm the same way. And I would love one day to have like an animal sanctuary, because I just want to save all the
of
animals.
them. They all need a mom.
But then it's like, I wouldn't want to leave to come do, work because I just want to stay there and love on them and make sure they have the care they need.
I ask my husband every day when I can be a stay-at-home dog mom. I'm like, when am I going to be a stay-at-home dog parent? I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Me too.
We would have a house full of animals though, if he let me do that.
It's so hard. I just think they need all the love and good humans for them.
They all need mommies.
They do. What kind of dogs do you have?
They're both rescue. Don't know what they are.
Gotcha. Just mix.
Found Radar. We found him running up and down the highway, which is why I named him Radar. Jules, named after Laser Jules.
Perfect.
Joules.
I love that.
Got her at 5 weeks old. Somebody dumped her mother when she was pregnant, dumped her behind a gas station in a dumpster. So
people are awful.
Awful. Yep. So she's my little baby. She's been sleeping on my neck since she was born. And she still does, and she's this big now. But we've had several. I had a boxer for 15 and a half years that I rescued in a parking lot in Lampasas. I mean, they were what are they called when the shelter brings them all out and you can just it's like free or like a donation only, pick whatever pet you want. And I knew I wanted him immediately.
Like, you are coming home with me.
He actually jumped in my car.
Yeah,
I had a convertible and he jumped in the back of my convertible.
Do you think, what was his name?
Manny Pacquiao.
Do you think he's your soul dog?
Yes, he was. He's been was longer with me than any boyfriend I ever had.
Yeah. They always say there's a dog that we call your soul. Yeah, that's the dog, the soul dog.
Yeah, I mean, he slept in bed with me. So.
And of course, you're going to have other dogs that you love just as much, but there's always one that.
Yeah,
that was
he
yours.
just, and I don't even know how old he was when we got him. He was probably 5 to 7 months old. And he was severely abused. And so it took some time for him to, get comfortable and know that he was going to be loved and not hit and, that he was always going to have food. So, and him and I were kind of going through similar things, when I found him. So I was going through a big breakup and he was, traumatized so badly. So yeah, he was my boyfriend. He was my longest running relationship. So literally that I've ever had.
Yeah, through a lot of the ups and downs until you really got
losing him was really, really hard. That was really hard, but he was 15 and a half. He lived a long time for a boxer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because typically I think dogs like that, because I had a bulldog, same thing. They usually say 10 to 12 years. Yeah, so you got 15, that's amazing.
And I mean, they told me 8 to 10 years for his breed. So he lived a long time.
Way to go, Manny.
Yeah, he was a sweet, sweet boy.
That's
a sweet baby. They're all sweet babies.
They are. I love dogs. Like I said, one day I will have a larger home where I can pick up any dog I see on the street and bring home.
I actually was
Find them at home.
I was coming out of the house the other day. We just moved. We just bought our first house. And
Congratulations.
We haven't told anybody yet except for our families, but because we want it's still under renovation a little bit. But I came out of the house and I left my phone on the counter and I turned around to come back in the house and there is a Frenchie on my porch.
Gosh.
And I was like,
what are you doing?
do you need a mommy? And she jumped in my
available.
arms. She snorted and jumped in my arms. And it turned out she had got out from somebody's fence. And, we don't know our neighbors yet. So I didn't really know what to do. She had no chip, no collar, no nothing. So I had errands to run. So I just put her in the car with me. And she drove around with me the whole entire day. She was so well behaved. And I was like, am I keeping this dog? Like, where's your owner?
Yeah.
And so I decided, my husband was like, babe, we can't have a third dog right now. Like, our house isn't even done yet. And so I drove around the neighborhood with her and I just was looking. I was like, God's going to tell me like which house is hers or maybe she'll just like start barking.
Yeah.
And so I just drove the neighborhood and I saw a dad and his son in the driveway and there was like a dog gate. And so I just stopped and I said, excuse me, did you lose a dog? And they said, no. And then the dad goes, what kind of dog? And I go, I don't know. You tell me. And he goes, is it a girl dog? And I go, mm-hmm. And he goes, what does she look like? And I go, what does she look like?
You tell me.
And he goes, is she kind of light colored? She's kind of chunky. And I go, but what kind? And he goes, she's a Frenchie. And I go,
Dang it.
yes, I have the dog. And I go, is it yours? And he goes, nope. And he points down the street and he goes, go ahead and go down the street. So we drive down the street like 3 houses and there's a woman with her kids out in the yard. And I don't know what they were doing out there. I don't know if they were pulling weeds or what. And I said, excuse me, did you lose a dog? And she goes, oh, Fendi?
Oh.
Stop.
She's a little bougie Frenchie.
Yep. And she jumped out of my arms and went straight to her mother. And then she jumped out of her arms and pawed the door and went in the house. Like she owned the place.
She had a little adventure.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
So, well, hopefully if she ever gets out again, she goes right to you.
I hope so.
All right. So back to aesthetics because I can talk about dogs all day long. I saw another fun fact about you that I did not know is that you were at Dr. Yeager's office in Plano. So that was after you and I met at the derm office we worked at together. Was that where you went after that?
Yes.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, does he do hair? Is he known for hair
so
too?
there's 2 Dr. Yeagers.
Okay.
Father, son.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the Dr. Yeager I worked for, he was the first plastic surgeon in Plano 50-something years ago.
Okay.
So he semi-retired this year. So he's finishing up, I think, December. Sometime soon he's going to be done.
Okay.
And he sold the practice to another physician, plastic surgeon. And so I worked for him for almost 4 years. I actually got the job with him from Chelsea that we worked with.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Chelsea came to my school as well. So her and I got really close. And she was working for him and she decided she wanted to go. After working for him, she was really interested in like being a surgical technician. And so, because he mentored her with that. And so she got super interested in it. And she was like, I'm going to go to school for that. And we need somebody well experienced here. And he wants somebody that he doesn't have to babysit.
Right.
So I just started there. Loved it.
Do you think you liked being in plastic surgery more or dermatology more?
I've worked at places that are both and then just plastics and just derm. I think I like, that's such a hard one.
It's a hard one.
It'd
be hard for me to answer.
Yeah, I love dermatology because I love products, skincare products, and just plastic surgeons don't have a whole lot of products.
That's true.
I find that they have less services on the aesthetic side. They'll usually have like one modality. In dermatology, they a lot of times have everything.
Yes.
So I think I like derm more.
Okay.
But I really like plastics because scar revision, like you, is like probably one of my specialties. I love fixing a scar. If I can correct something, instant gratification.
Absolutely. And the confidence that you're giving that patient, a client.
It could be such a big change for somebody, including for myself. I've worked on my own scars. I don't know if you know this, but I lost half my breast when I was 23. I had 6 tumors removed from my breast.
Wow.
And
that's a young age to
it
go
was
through
a very young
something like
age, and and at that time I was swimsuit modeling. And the doctor said, well, we've got to remove all of this from your breast. And your options are to have one breast and wear a prosthetic, or I can remove both, or I can remove and then enhance to make them look the same. And so I went for the enhancement, and they got me far, right? Yeah. And I developed some health issues from the implants, and I had them removed the beginning of this year.
Okay.
So full reconstruction, all the things. And initially, when I first had my breast removed, I had a scar all the way across my chest. And being 23 years old, single, modeling swimsuits, I was like, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I did everything I could to cover it. And when I started working in derm and plastics, I had access to all the things. So I did IPL, laser resurfacing, microneedling. I did all the things to fix my scar.
Yeah.
And so that became my, like, I love being able to correct a scar.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of,
and from firsthand, you know
yes.
how much that can help somebody and affect somebody.
Exactly.
And on the, like, as a provider side of it, seeing how each one does on yourself too.
Yes, exactly. And that helped a lot with being able to help other patients, especially patients of color. I'm a mixed. And so treating darker skin types and scars, because there's not, a whole lot of options, as you know, for darker skin types. So
right, guys. So if you're in the industry, you know this. If you're just someone listening that's just is a beauty enthusiast and loves it, you have to be very, very cautious with darker skin types with lasers and certain things you do, because they are more prone to pigment and even more scarring, which you want to avoid. So you have to be very knowledgeable when you're treating darker skin type. And if you are a darker skin type, go into someone, you need to do your research and make sure.
Absolutely. Make sure they have all the modalities needed for that specific skin type, because back in when we first started, there wasn't, even for laser hair removal. I mean, an Alexandrite laser was kind of the first laser hair removal. Nobody with a skin type darker than a 3. So all Caucasian skin types could have laser hair removal, and nobody else could really have it. Right. So you just have to be aware of those things and do your research. And that kind of became being mixed myself, and also having these types of scars that could change somebody's life. That kind of became my specialty. So plastics holds a special place in my heart for that reason, because Dr. Yaker would give me all of his plastics patients. And that's how I built my clientele with him, who I still see now to this day, even at my school.
I love that. See, it's so important. I love when you have clients that just follow you. It's important to build that relationship and that trust when you're treating someone.
I've kept some of my patients for 20 years.
That's amazing. You're such a strong person. You've been through a lot that I didn't know.
I know.
Yeah.
How am I alive?
You are, and you're doing fabulous. So you've been on, I guess, the entertainment side of things, the music, The Bachelor, which I'm going to touch on a minute again with you, and then dermatology, plastic surgery, and then is it after the surgeon's office? When did you get into the school? Because that's really important too, because you're currently at a laser school, an aesthetic school, and I love that you are sharing your knowledge for the upcoming, future of aesthetic providers. So how did that come about, and when and you helped open this school, right?
I didn't help open it. It was open months prior to me going there.
Okay.
But I kind of built,
or guess I should say, yes. Yeah. Like the curriculum and it
was still, they had only had one class when I started. When Dr. Yeager was kind of going into retirement and selling his practice, I thought that might be a really good time because it was coming up on my 20-year mark. So I thought that would be a really good time for me to start transitioning to the next step for me, which was teaching. And I had taught a little bit before, and I really, really loved it. In fact, a lot of people aren't going to know this, but you and I were at the same place at one point. But it was different place, but it was kind of the same.
Right.
So that was kind of my first where you used to teach. I taught there for a very short time as well. We bought your school and I didn't, but the school I worked for purchased your school. They wanted to try to have like a small location in Dallas because they were out of Austin. And it just ended up not working out for them. And I was devastated. Because I was like, ooh, I really love this. This is amazing. I wish I would have had that back in the day when I first started.
Yeah.
I mean, I had great mentors and stuff, but there was nothing like the schools are now.
Same.
And so that was my I dipped my toe in the water and I was like, ooh, I really, really like this. So when that school closed down, I was like, well, now what do I do? Which is how I got to Yeager's office. So when Yeager started talking about retiring, I thought, you know what, this will be a good time. Maybe I can start teaching again because I really, really miss it. So one of my laser reps, as you know, I tell my students, get in good with your reps.
Industry contacts people.
Do not
yes.
burn bridges because yes, it's a big, big world, but our industry is so tiny
Absolutely
that you never know where your next job is going to be coming from. Anybody could, especially the reps, they all know where to go.
Absolutely.
They know what's going on in offices. Those are my besties.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Always get in good with your reps. Never burn bridges. And the reps kind of move around too.
They do.
So, you may meet
offices.
them with, I don't know, SkinCeuticals. And then, a couple years down the road, they may be with Envir or whatever, another skincare brand. So it's important to just really keep in touch with everybody because that can be a big, big help for you.
And that is how I got to Empower, is through one of my reps. And he just randomly one day said, you should really teach this. You know more about this laser than a lot of people I meet. And I was like, well, I love lasers. I've been doing it a long time. And I said, why? What do you have in mind? And he goes, are you looking to leave? And I was like, actually, I just talked to Dr. Yeager. He's going to be retiring. He's selling the practice. It's a great time for me to start looking. And he's on board with it. And he said, I know somebody who owns one of the largest med spas in DFW, and one of their partners has opened a school recently, and they're looking for an instructor. And I go, do you want my resume? And he goes, yeah, give me your resume right now. Send it to me. And he goes, I'll forward it. So he forwarded it. In that moment, I got a phone call, and they brought me in for an interview literally that weekend. So, and that was my now boss and partner. In the school, and I've been there since 2022, and
amazing.
I can't imagine doing anything else now. I can't imagine even people ask me all the time, would you go back to working, just in plastics or derm or whatever? No, that it feels like I would go backwards then, because I did all the things I've done almost every aspect short of selling lasers. Yeah, I've done every aspect in the industry. I've loved all of them in different ways. Some of them didn't work out. Some of them were traumatizing, but I learned something in all of it.
Right.
And I grew in just myself. I grew in my education with all of those different, all of the different pathways in the industry. And I'm like, teaching for me and then running a school is kind of the top for me.
Right.
It almost feels like full circle. Because now I'm doing what my very first teacher in aesthetics was doing. So,
and I think it's so important to be able to have a mentor. And I know that you are that for your students too.
I hope so.
It's important because when you go in, you're in one, because like you just said, you've been around, you've been in different aspects of the industry, you've gained that knowledge, and honestly, the ever-changing rules and regulations, you've kind of been through it all. And it's very important think to be able to educate the students on that too. And it's always changing. You always have to keep up to date with it. What do you love most about working with new students when they come on?
They get really, really excited when they see something change. So when our school is an advanced school. So we're where you go after you get your esthetician license or your cosmetology license, or even if you don't have one of those, you can still get a laser license without, you just have to be 18 with a GED or high school diploma. And so it's like you can give them all the information, all the slides and the didactic work all day. And they're like, okay, words. And then they see you do something on somebody and they're like, oh, you just removed that vein.
Yeah.
Like, I told you you could do this. So watching how excited they get and they're like, okay, wait a second. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Like that's probably what makes me most excited. Or when they message me months later or a year later and they say, I just wanted to let you know I just started at this one place and I love it. And they told me that like I'm, more educated than anybody they've ever had, or I'm really, really qualified for this. And they haven't ever had anybody that like knows how to do all these different treatments and things like that. That's what kind of keeps me going. Like that's really exciting to me, is seeing them get excited for their careers and their treatments.
That is really exciting. That was for me too. And I've been out of the teaching side of it for a while now, but it's still really cool to have my past students who you see so successful in the industry now. And just to know that you had a little bit of help in getting them there, and still being able to be a mentor because, you still have people, that you still talk to today. It's so important to be able to have a mentor in this industry who you can trust and who cares, and no judgment is needed.
Absolutely.
I still pick up the phone to this day with Michelle. She was the owner of the laser school I worked at. And I'm like, what would you do in this situation? And that's so cool. I mean, I've been in the industry for 20 years, and it's still cool to be able to have someone to call and ask things about.
I welcome it all the time. I welcome.
I just had a resume come through to me the other day, and they went through your course.
Aww.
So I was like, oh, I love to see it.
You'll have to tell me later.
Yeah, I will. So I think that's really cool for you. Okay. So students love you, and you're empowering them to lead on to other fabulous things in life. I want to do kind of some rapid fire questions with you, if that's okay.
Okay.
So tell me, what is your favorite treatment to provide for somebody else?
Okay.
I know it's a hard question.
It's the hardest question because it depends on the day. It depends on my mood. It depends on if I'm hungry, because it just changes all the time. So right now, my favorite treatment, honestly, it's a treatment that I don't have a whole lot of access to right now. Just being a school and still being kind of a toddler school. We're only 3.5, 4 years old. We don't have everything that I want us to have just yet. We've got some good stuff. We have state-of-the-art equipment, but one thing we don't have yet that I really, really, really want is laser resurfacing. We have like baby laser resurfacing because we can do like laser facials, and I can use my Q-switch tattoo removal for, pigmented lesions, but I don't have like a Cyton, I don't have a 2940 or, that deeper resurfacing. I would love to have some fully ablative treatments, because I feel like anywhere the students go work, especially if they want to go to derm and plastics, they're going to need to know how to do that treatment. And as a trainer myself, I go and train at different affiliate offices. So if they get a new machine, like a laser resurfacing machine, and their esthetician needs training, they don't want to book one of the laser trainers from the company because they're going to pay a couple grand to do that.
Right.
So they call me, and I charge hourly, and I'll go in and teach them how to use the machine because I've used a lot of them. So, and that's kind of one thing I've been missing. And I did a treatment in March with a Cyton Jewel 2940. I did a high level because I wanted the person that I was training to really see what it could do. So I said, do you have a model for it? And she goes, I don't. I said, you got my face. I need a treatment. It's been a while. I've been under some stress the last few years. So I said, if you want to, you can do it on me. And she did. And it was a lot. I said, just snatch this face. I want my brows wrapped around the back of my head. I want my chin. I want everything snatched. And I was like, I told my boss at the school, I said, I really, really, really want a laser resurfacing machine because there's so many things you can do with it. And I really want to teach that. So that's probably right now my favorite because I don't get to use it as much as I would like. And it's really needed in the industry.
It is. I think every practice should have a resurfacing laser. And Sciton is definitely one of the better laser companies out there.
True story.
Maybe, if Sciton's listening, we can get them a unit over there at their school for the students to learn. And, when they move on to future practices, if that practice doesn't have a Sciton.
We actually just had a meeting with Sciton. So we're waiting on a callback. So
good.
Here's hoping.
Yes.
Shout out Sciton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Good quality lasers make a difference too.
Absolutely.
In results and the ease of use for the provider doing it as well. So what is your favorite treatment that you like to get? Yes, resurfacing. I know you just said that, but what's kind of your go-to? Oh, my skin's looking a little dull. I need a refresh. What would you do?
I'm a little bit old school, so I love a good microdermabrasion. Love a good microderm, little glycolic acid, look like an ice skating rink. I like that, and I have a skin pen for microneedling. Teach that class as well. So sometimes if we need another model, I'll let my students do it on me. So I like things that don't have a lot of downtime. If I'm going to do like a big laser treatment and I'm going to have some downtime, that's like a once a year thing for me, like a big treatment, right? But, for all the other times, slap it, burn it, scrape it, peel it, give me some skin pen.
Yeah, Skin Pen's great.
It is.
And Skin Pen is a brand of microneedling. Correct. Yeah, I have Skin Pen. I love it.
They were the first FDA-approved microneedling device.
That is a fact. I just did a Skin Pen on myself a week and a half ago. Love it. I haven't done that on my skin in a while. It's really good.
Do you do yours without numbing?
No, I've done it without numbing. I didn't do it this time without numbing. So as providers, sometimes we push the limits a little bit.
We like to torture
or we don't have time.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? Now I have the time to do this, but I don't have time to put the topical numbing cream on. I can do this. I can do it to myself. It's fine.
I feel like I can give myself pain, though, better than somebody else can give me pain. So I'm fine with it.
True.
It's not that, it doesn't last that long. It's not like torture for hours. It's a quick.
And a good thing about microneedling, Skin Pen microneedling, is it's safe for all skin types.
Absolutely.
Anybody can do it. Anybody. And it's stimulating a ton of collagen. You can do it for texture, scarring. It's a good one to have around in your arsenal of tools.
Absolutely. And I just taught this class this week, and students that's probably one of their favorite classes is the microneedling. And they're shocked when you talk about all the different things you can do with a skin pen, because everybody thinks this is Skin Pen, but you can do any area of the body.
For those that aren't watching and you're listening, she's talking about some people think you can just do like face and neck with Skin Pen. You can do, go ahead, any area of the body.
Whole body. And so some of the patients, or even on myself, I'm like, do you have any scars that we could treat today? They're like, what do you mean? I can do my scars? Yes, if you have breast implant scars, or augmentation scars, tummy tuck scars, cesarean section scars, pigmented scars on your legs from whatever wound, burn marks, anything, you can use microneedling for that. So,
and what's really cool too is you can pair topicals with it and drive them deeper. So depending on what kind of concern you're treating, whether it be pigment, you can do a pigment cocktail serum with it because we're just driving that serum deeper.
Absolutely.
And really tailor it. All right. What advice would you give to a new laser professional starting out today?
Don't expect to start at the top. That's probably the biggest thing. That's the talk I've been having lately, especially with my younger crowd, 18 to about 24, 25. They see where we are, and they see TikTok and Instagram, and they see the amount of money that someone more seasoned is making, and they expect to start there.
Right.
So bringing them down off of that mountain is probably my most challenging. So whenever my students first start class, we have a new class that comes through the first of every month. And that's one of the things I talk about is you might not be scrubbing toilets, but you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. I did not start at the top. I've had to kiss a lot of frogs in the industry until I found kind of my niche, found my work family. I've had several work families, but never once did I expect to, be the lead anything. You have to work your way. You have to put in the hard work. There's nothing in this industry that is handed to you.
You're absolutely right about that. And that is great advice. When I was teaching at the school, that's what I would tell my students too. A lot of times when I follow up with them, they're not taking jobs because it's not what they want at that moment. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you need to get in, get the experience and work your way up. Take that job and still be, on the lookout for others, but you have to get your foot in the door somewhere.
Absolutely.
You have to do the work. We didn't, like you just said, we didn't start up here at the top and getting to play with all the lasers that we have. Now you have to work your way up.
Most places have, probation periods as well. So you don't get all the privileges that someone seasoned or someone that has been at that, company for a longer period of time. You don't just jump into the free products and the free services and the this and the that. You have to put in the work. You have to show them, what you're capable of. And if you think that's hard starting out, then it only gets harder. You only get more responsibilities in the industry. The more education you get, the more responsibilities you have.
Right. Great advice. What would you say to seasoned providers who feel stagnant or uninspired?
That's a great question.
Because I feel like we've all been there. Sometimes you get to a point where you're like...
I get that sometimes too. Sometimes I'm just like, should I retire? Do I want to be poor? No. And then sometimes I'm like, man, I love this. I'm not going to stop doing this for another 20 years or whatever. All I can say is for myself, when I start to feel like a little plateau or a little dip in my career specifically, it's usually because I haven't spoken to someone like you or someone that I feel can relate to my career. So it helps to have conversations like this. And that kind of lights a little bit of a fire. So I would say, keeping close to those that are like in similar shoes, because you can, bounce off of each other. And then also I would say education. If I've gone a really long time without learning something new, honestly, even if it's something as simple as a new skincare product or, I love product knowledge, but just some sort of education, like continuing education in literally anything. Sometimes that's just enough to kind of pull me out of that little slump.
I agree with that. I always feel a little more inspired and ready to take on the world after I go to a conference or even just speaking if a rep comes in, and gives a little updated training.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
I completely agree with that. What has been your most rewarding moment as a mentor or educator?
Wow.
I'm sure there's probably a lot.
There's a lot. When the students graduate, and that's super exciting. Last class, not the current class because they don't finish until Tuesday, but I think the last class, when a student, I give them their certificates, and when they get teary-eyed and they're about to just fly away and start their career. That's super rewarding for me. When a student asks me to come and speak, on their behalf at their company, or they say, my new boss wants to meet you. Will you come for a tour in our office? Or will you come train our office on this machine that we just got? That's super rewarding. And then probably one of the most rewarding so far has been my girl Nora started out as a student. And do you know Nora? She owns a med spa called Skin Corrective Aesthetics.
I do not.
She is doing really, really well, and just like you. And she started as a student, and then very quickly, her and I just hit it off. We're the same age, and she was in the medical industry, but not in aesthetics prior to. I can't remember the title that she had, but for like, and I can't remember how many years she did this. I want to say 10 years or more. She was in something with the heart, like cardiac something.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was very well experienced in medical. And I knew she was going to be a phenomenal esthetician and laser tech. And I helped her answer all her questions along with my boss as well, helped her answer all the questions about opening her med spa. And I got an email, and I can't remember the name of this specific, it's like a marketing branding company, and they tour all over the place. And I got an email from them that there was like some sort of conference they were having in Richardson. So I was like, I don't want to go by myself, but this looks pretty cool. Like I could meet some people and, talk about the school with them and maybe find an affiliate or two. And so I asked her, I sent her the email and I said, I know you're just opening your med spa, but I feel like you could, put yourself out there as well. Do you want to come with me? So we went to this and it was super fun. They had a couple of speakers, and one of the speakers was one of the top marketing, what's it called when you have, it's like your own product line, you have it branded.
Private label.
She does like things like that. And she's one of the top female CEOs of this company, like in the country. And she was one of the speakers, and she was so phenomenal. And Nora and I were just like in awe of her. And she's probably 5 feet tall, just a ball of energy. And she does this specifically with lots of different companies, but in aesthetics, she helps with private labeling and getting your name out there. And so Nora wanted to meet her because Nora wanted to start her own line. And she just didn't know, she didn't want to just start a big skincare line like you have with your beautiful aesthetics line. She wanted something like special, like something like very specific. And so her and I talked while we were listening to this. She goes, what do you think's really needed right now, like as far as products in the industry? And I was like, well, I can tell you what I would like. I hate having to find hyaluronic acid for microneedling. I said, they're so flippin' expensive for a tiny little bottle. And I would love to have something really nice. That, and then we talked about, I said, and for dermaplaning, because I do a lot more oil planing than dermaplaning. For those that don't know, oil planing is when you put a type of oil on the skin instead of dry dermaplaning. You put oil on the skin to keep it a little bit more hydrated. So I said, those two things are like big for me. I love some hyaluronic acid and I love some oil planing. And I said, and both of those are hard to come by with a good price point and not a whole lot of crap ingredients added to it. And she goes, ooh, oil planing. I loved doing that in your class. And I said, ooh, you should do that. Let's do oil. And she goes, okay. And I said, well, after this, let's go talk to that lady. So we did. I actually was like the wingman. So I went up to her, introduced myself, as the instructor for Empower. And I said, and this is my friend and former student, Nora. She just opened a med spa and she is interested in having a specialty product. And they immediately it's like I disappeared and they just clicked.
Amazing.
They just clicked. And Nora texted me the next day and said, I have a meeting with her. And now they're super close. And Nora has her own Interlume oil planing product.
How amazing.
Has only 3 ingredients.
Wow.
Non-comedogenic. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful oil. It's the most luxurious. Sorry, I have the hiccups. It's the most luxurious oil planing product I have had. And it has a good price point. And so she's been very successful with it. And so I spoke to my boss the other day and I said, do you think we could talk to Nora about being one of our affiliates with the school? So we brought her in, we interviewed her, and we are now one of her clients as well, we purchase her oil planing kits for our students for class.
That's really
So,
amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that made me like, I almost cried when she was in our office the other day and she was leaving and we placed our first order with her for our students. I mean, she was like, this is literally full circle for me. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so proud. I'm like a proud mom, even though she's the same age as me. I was like, this is so awesome. Former student, opened a med spa, now has, created her own product. And now we're buying that from her for our students for our class.
See, that just gave me chill bumps because that's really where it's at, especially as an educator. You've done your part and you've really helped someone and you see that.
I got teary.
Yeah, I got chill bumps. That's awesome. Well, Solisa, I really appreciate you coming on today. And where can anyone watching and our listeners find you online? And then, of course, be able to connect with you at Empower Health and Aesthetic Institute.
Yes. So we are in the Walnut Hill area of Dallas, right off of 75. We are an advanced aesthetic school, so we're where you can come for all of the advanced training. We've got a whole list of advanced aesthetics. If you want to work in paramedical aesthetics, we're where you come for that. So paramedical aesthetics helps you work alongside of a physician or under a physician. And we get you your laser license. So we are easy to get to, easy to find. We are on Instagram, on Facebook. Just look up our name, Empower Health and Aesthetic Institute. And I also have a skin page called Solshineandskin. So you can look that up. I post a lot of our school stuff on that page.
Perfect. Thank you. And there are several laser schools, but what I really love about you guys is that it's kind of smaller classroom focused. So you do get more hands-on, more one-on-one. I feel like you don't get lost in the crowd as a student.
Right.
You're not going to feel uncomfortable to raise your hand and ask a question.
I only take 8 to 10 students per class. We do the same thing every single month. A new class comes in. So it's just me and 8 to 10 students. And that way everybody feels comfortable to ask questions. I don't want anybody to ever skip a question just because they're in a class of 30 and they're terrified to ask. There are no stupid questions or dumb questions. There's always, I feel like every question, even if it's repeated, everybody could use that information all over again. So, because there's a lot of information in aesthetics. So from getting your license and getting all your certifications to knowing how to do an interview to negotiating your pay. We even have a business course right in the middle of our laser course. And we were the first ones in the US to have that. I've worked really, really hard on our curriculum. I took all the knowledge, all the mentors I've had, all the people that have helped me in my career, and I combined all of that into our curriculum. My boss was amazing when I first started in letting me just take our curriculum and just like Play-Doh, take it apart, put it back together, how I saw, how I felt was best for the students. And I've just kind of, tweaked it here and there. So it is fully catered to hands-on. We don't even have online training just yet. I'm wanting to do it, but I've really wanted to take my time on having online training. So because hands-on is so, so important in our industry. You can never get enough hands-on practice.
Never. Hands-on is so important. That's where you really round things out. And no one treatment is the same.
True story.
No one treatment is the same.
Nope.
Exactly. Well, again, thank you so much. And I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
I love chatting with you.
It was wonderful catching up. I adore you.
All right, guys. So go follow Solisa if you are also looking to get in the industry. If you're in the industry, if you own a med spa and you need some consulting done or some extra training, she's the one to go to. I will have her information linked for you. And thanks for tuning in to the Beautiful Aesthetics podcast. Please be sure to hit subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at beautifulasthetics.frisco for a little more behind the scenes look into the treatment world. And I will see you guys next time.